Welcome everybody.
Welcome.
I'm Paul Green.
And I am Kate Austin.
And we have a question for you. We are wondering if you are in the passenger seat of your life. Like, are you on autopilot, or do you feel like you're actually creating your life?
Now let's actually go into that. So what does that mean?
Like brushing your teeth or driving to work.
Yeah, you know when you drive somewhere and you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And then like, how scary is that? You know, you're totally not present while you're driving.
There's a part of your brain that just does that.
Mm-hmm.
Brushing your teeth,
Mm-hmm.
talking to your mom on the phone. Yep. How was your day? Good. How was yours? Good, honey.
We're just on autopilot. So
most of our lives, we're either reacting to other people's stimuli or we're totally just in our own autopilot, repeating a loop of doing the same thing over and over again. And your brain is actually designed to keep you safe. So taking risks and going outside of the safe zone isn't your brain's like highest service. It just wants to keep you alive.
yes, how many people just like grab food and they're eating and they're eating and they're eating and they're not present to what they're eating or how they're eating, snacking, yes, getting the kids ready for school, yes, you know, these things that become the humdrum of life.
Humdrum.
We just go into autopilot.
Go through the motions. Some of you in your relationships too with your partner, it's just the same routine that is
hi honey, how was your day?
Good.
Great.
And it's just in a way it's surviving, which is what your brain is trying to do. It doesn't like taking risks or having you live your best life ever. Your brain is there to keep you alive. That is it.
We actually have 4 parts of our brain, which is amazing. But there's a reptilian part of our brain, which is the oldest part. It's like comes from our prehistoric, you know, times, and we've grown through the ages with it. And that reptilian brain is totally the same as, you know, an animal that you'd see. And the whole thing is just keeping you alive, keeping you out of danger. And unfortunately, if you allow that part of your brain to really like rule the roost, you're gonna live a safe life, but you're gonna feel like you're missing out on all the juice. Like, why does somebody else's life look so extraordinary when mine is just in the humdrum and the same old all the time? Now, the great news is you can shift it, and it's easier than you think. And so we want to talk about how to really step into that driver's seat. And, you know, you might not even realize that you're just a passenger and that you're being influenced by the news or the stimuli or your peers or your parents. You know, you're just being a good girl or a good boy, getting things done and doing things as best you can, but you're not taking any risks and you're not going against the grain to see what's possible for your life. Now, I want to give a little example of when Paul and I got together. I recognized that although it had great relationships, none of them were the ones that, you know, I was like, wow, like this is extraordinary. I need to make a change. And what I was doing in my relationships was I'd always have one foot out the door. Just to keep myself safe. So I never was truly vulnerable, never giving my heart away completely. And if anything went wrong, I'd be like, yeah, I wasn't really in it anyway. So I was keeping myself safe. And I wasn't emotionally invested, but I was also never felt that passion, that love, that all of those wild chemicals that can happen when you truly give yourself over to someone. And I was like, I am going to do the opposite of what I would normally do every time, which meant when I felt vulnerable, I was going to lean into the pain and be more vulnerable instead of being like, I don't care. I don't need you. Like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm misempowered. Like, who, you know, because that's who I always was. And it served me really well. That's the thing about the reptilian brain. It can serve you really well.
Right.
Can keep you safe.
Yeah.
But at some point, you feel an empty vacuousness of like, why is my life not where I would like it to be?
Right.
And so I remember really clearly I'd made this pact to myself to do the opposite.
To do the opposite of what you usually do.
Opposite of whatever I would normally do. And it was like within the first year of our relationship, and we were in the kitchen, and, you know, as you are in that like first part, you start getting into nitpicking sometimes. If someone's like, I don't like the way you do this, or I don't like the way you do that. And Paul had sort of made some comment about something he didn't like that I did. And instead of defending myself and protecting myself and doing it all that, what I did was I was like, well, there is nothing that I would change about you. And what it did was it disrupted, because he was like, because I said it in a way as if I was defending myself, but it disrupted like the neurons in his brain, like what? Like, you know, because it could have been so easy for me to like, well, I don't like when you do this and this, which is the normal way people react, you know, when they're feeling like a little bit maybe attacked or unappreciated, or that they're not, you know, in that space. So they would defend and protect. Whereas instead I just said that, which totally stopped everything short. And it lightened up the whole situation. And it shifted us in a new way. But you can't say it if you don't mean it. I actually meant it. But I mean, you can fake it till you make it, actually, I would suggest. But now in our relationship these days, Paul says to me constantly, "This is not a thing I would change about you." And it's just so beautiful. And we really disrupted getting into that routine, that mindless autopilot of nitpicking at each other's faults. We've stopped that really early on, so it's not something we do. Now, we have a beautiful thing called the 3% rule, where we will share if there's something that is bothering us or something that we feel uncomfortable with each other around. We'll say, hey, I have a 3%, and we'll share it, but it comes from a place of loving connection and wanting to connect deeper and wanting to share our truth, rather than you do this and you did this and and all that sort of stuff. So that's a real life example of how to start shifting the paradigm of like just getting into the humdrum. And we've had like hundreds of people that had relationships that had lost their spark.
Right.
And work relationships that were not healthy. And with tiny tools, you can shift everything and have a passionate relationship again, even with someone you've been married to for 20, 30 years, you know, or like reconnect to people at work and really see their magic for who they are, rather than seeing all their faults. Yeah. And so that's part of the gift of getting out of the passenger seat.
Kate and I have a program that we've been taking through. It's really an adventure that we've been taking hundreds of participants through in the last few years. We have a company called Freedom Alchemist. The course or the education platform, or however you want to phrase it, takes people on a discovery of body, mind, and connection. So I do some of the body stuff. Kate is a strategic intervention coach, Tony Robbins trained, as well as NLP practitioner. And then we share some of our favorite teachers in the love and connection to yourself and others portions. So we've been doing a very low cost journey that we bring people through as a big group. And we decided, from some folks were asking for more intimate and more personal coaching, to do a smaller journey coming up shortly in a couple weeks. And that one is called Forever Young. And
masterclass.
It's a masterclass. And I'm taking folks on a 10-day detox that I just finished yesterday. I just did 10 days of my own, and it was a absolute wild discovery of so many things. There's a lot of journaling that takes place, intimate journaling in here every single day, and it was very carefully curated. We're following another doctor's program. During this new 6-week intensive masterclass called Forever Young that Kate and I are doing in 2 weeks, which is why we're doing this live right now, is to share this little trick with you, this little nugget with you, but also to introduce, for some of you that may want more intimate coaching, it'll be private and semi-private. Small pods of 10 to 12, but also Kate will be doing one-on-one NLP as well, which is literally interrupting the sabotage mechanisms from your past,
Mm-hmm.
the things that keep you repeating past relationships, past financial problems, regaining your weight. Those are patterns that if you can interrupt the neural pathways, you can have a massive breakthrough in any area. And she's trained in doing that. You'll be actually able to sit with Kate if you join us and do that.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing a live cooking session to show you how much fun you can actually have in the kitchen with food,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a lot of fun and I make a lot of noise in the kitchen.
And a lot of mess.
I do make a lot of mess. That is for sure. But this 10-day detox that I just finished, I released 12 pounds. I went for one day. I went all the way down to 16 pounds released, and then it was a lot of water. So,
Mind you, he has been working out really heavily.
I've been
'cause he's got
lifting a lot, and
movie
also
coming up, so he's been
I
like
get
gaining
super
muscle.
buff from my movies.
Yeah.
No, but I also was eating a lot. It's not a starvation detox.
It's a way of life. It's not only the 10 days, it's like a whole 6-week journey of really committing to how food can heal you and how it can be so delicious and nutritious to eat food that heals your body. And the whole aim of this is that you will take this on for life. And because it's sustainable, it's not something that is a quick fix that you then like need to get off and shove food down your face. It's totally sustainable. And so he's going to share the passion and the excitement and the yumminess of what's available to you to heal your body, to get off medications, to get out of the toxic cycles that you might be with fear, with like eating, just not being present to your food, and to actually having it be like something really empowering that's super yummy and delicious too.
Yes, and a toxic cycle that she just mentioned is you continually make choices to do something that you know is bad for you, but it feels good, and you keep choosing it. Some people would choose an abusive partner. They know it's bad for them, but they keep choosing it.
Because they want to believe in the good of that person.
Yes.
The glimpses of good. Now, it's like learning how to believe in you and learning how to believe how powerful you are with your health, with your body, with your mind, with your relationships. And, you know, what we've found with so many of our longer term programs that are much more financially accessible is there's so many people that get to a certain point and then they have deep trauma in their past that's surfacing, but they don't have everything to move through. So that's why we wanted to offer this as it's semi-private and private coaching to really nut out, because you get individualized attention, to really nut out all of these things so that you're totally free and liberated. So liberated in your body because you're going to get rid of all these toxins. You're going to find ways to empower yourself through food. And then all of the other stuff that comes with it. Because when you're on a detox, a lot of old trauma, old stuff comes to the surface. Now there's going to be a way to maneuver those and move them through so that you're really empowered in the whole thing. You're going to come out of this completely liberated new person.
Do you want to tell them about the game?
I want to talk about the game of life.
What is the game of life? That's what we could have done a whole video on.
I
the
know.
Game of life.
So basically, it's a structure and a strategy to fulfilling your goals and dreams one baby step at a time. So nothing is too big. I believe that there is nothing that people can't achieve if they put the time and energy to it. I mean, people are achieving the impossible every day. And so everything is possible when you believe you can and you have a structure and strategy to fulfill on it. So this is, it's like a document that's a moving, living document that has you fulfilling week by week, day by day, so that you can really have something massive. Like, how am I going to get there? I want this, but it just seems too overwhelming and too big. Like, I just don't know. I want to give the example of like a piano player, right? We all have it that, you know, it takes years to be a good piano player. So a lot of people don't even start because they don't want to take the years, right? But if there's little like steps along the way and milestones, then it becomes something that's attainable. And there's so many more. There's just so many big things. And here's the thing, guys. We are the authors of our life. And we can leave it to everybody else to influence us. Or we get to write our own story. And life is so much more enjoyable and purposeful and liberating when we're writing our own story and not leaving it up to someone else.
Yes.
Yeah. So the game of life is,
and it's the game of the strategy for, it's a strategy for fulfillment. So you realize you're present to the miracles in your life. And I used it to do an album, an ALS fundraiser, to help launch a company. It's a way of, like JFK did it when he said, we're going to put a man on the moon, and they had no rockets built yet. And so, but they knew, they started with the end in mind, and then you work backwards. By this date, they had to have a deal with a engine company, and then by that date, so it's working backwards from an end goal. You get a 10-day detox guided by Paul, that's me, and there's a prep phase and there's a transition phase, and then you'll be on the whole 30 vibe of eating whole 30 for most of the time, as well as drinking celery juice. And for those that can get it, the ion gut biome, which is something we're just I believe in so wholeheartedly, to healing your gut. And if you don't know about that, it's on my website as well. You'll get the whole 30 meal structure.
And then obviously your goal plan, your strategy, and you'll get personal feedback from me on that. So it's not like you do it and it's left to the whims. You get personal feedback and you get coached on it. So you're in full accountability and integrity on your goals and dreams. This isn't a passive program. It is very much, you're in it, and we are committed to you having the transformation that you're committed to having.
Yes.
So you will, it is full body, mind, and spirit connection that you will shift in a short space of 6 weeks. And we're really committed that you get that. If you do not get that, if you do everything and you don't get that, we're 100% going to give you all your money back. That's what we're committed to, because we believe in it so much.
Yeah.
So,
there's no risk. If you do all the work and you're still at the end being like, that didn't get what I came for, it's a money back guarantee.
Yeah.
Goal, strategy, plan for the 6 weeks for a bigger goal you need to achieve. Oh, we did that. Yeah. Yes, we will hold your hand.
Yes. This is about being coached. This is about...
Some folks are... Go ahead.
Just about... Yeah. Like, sometimes we need someone to believe in us so that we can believe in us. And the whole concept of having a coach is that they see you as much bigger than you see yourself. And it's so beautiful when you finally feel seen and heard in your best light. It's like the most amazing feeling ever. I remember the first time I had a coach, and I would be giddy afterwards because there's someone that was on my team fighting for me to be bigger than I knew myself to be.
Right.
And, years ago, do you remember, like, not everyone had a therapist, and then suddenly everybody has a therapist, and it's like such a normal thing, right? But it won't be that long before everybody has a coach, because once you've had one, you'll never not have one again. We always have coaches. We spend more and more money on them because we see the results of having someone that's looking out for you and your greatness, and they'll guide you in a way that you can't do by yourself. You think of every Olympian, they have coaches for their front hand and their backhand and then this, and then, like, every aspect of their game they have coaches on. So the more elite you get, the higher you get. Every CEO has tons of coaches. Like, it's the people rely on the people around them to surround themselves in that bubble so that they can continue to up level and accelerate. And that is the value of a coach. So that's who you'll get, the two of us for the price of one over this 6 weeks, which is really where all the juice and the sauce lies in this coaching program.
Yes. And one thing Kate and I are passionate about is helping people live a life that they love. And a lot of folks do not know what they're going to be doing a year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. They just literally are fully living in reaction to the news, to demands of relatives, to demands of their spouse or their kids. And what we're passionate about is reminding people that you're a creator and you can create a life that is worth living. And a lot of those tools that we use in our other courses we'll be using and going deeper in on our live coaching. And you'll get, and Kate's going to do a private NLP session. Do you want to explain NLP real quick? What we touched on it, but it means neuro linguistic programming, and you are all programmed from in utero. You're programmed to respond to life in a certain way. And some of that's not serving you.
Yeah, and so what it is, it's a really beautiful way of it's basically you get asked a series of questions, and within that you'll start to uncover things that maybe have been holding you back that you weren't even present to, like a sabotage or something like that. And it can happen as early as utero. It can happen as early as 5 or 6 of your earliest memories. And that thing that happened will dictate how the rest of your life goes. And it's almost like you're allowing the 5-year-old version of yourself to dictate what the 40-year-old, 50-year-old version of yourself is doing right now. And it's making the connection that you are so much wiser now than you were when you made that choice or the decision. And that's usually the reptilian mind that's keeping you safe. And that's like saying how it goes. So it sounds complicated, but it's so simple and it's so painless, and you can heal traumas, lifelong traumas, with very simple change techniques that rewire the neurological pathways. And basically I'm facilitating you on your healing journey. And it's so beautifully guided. It's such a powerful, beautiful thing. And there's no one that doesn't love it, because it's like such a deep inquiry into yourself. It's really special. And so you get a private session, which is 90 minutes to 2 hours with me with this package. So that's really juicy and exciting, to really, sometimes we just don't know what we don't know that's holding us back. And so this shines a light on it.
And those are called blind spots.
Yeah.
There's things that you know, and then there's things that you know that you don't know. Like I don't know rocket science. But then there's a whole bunch of areas that I don't know. And those are my blind spots. And this technique helps you to identify some of the limiting beliefs that are running your show behind the scenes that you're just not aware of, and they're blind spots, and they'll come up and you'll be like, it's all because of this. And sometimes it's really little.
And a lot of this is going to surface from the detox as well, right? When we do a proper detox, all of these old emotions and old things start surfacing. And so this is the perfect time to really be digging in, and to have coaches to really help guide you through whatever comes up.
Yes. And if you do follow it, you will release a ton of weight, but also a ton of heaviness that you've been dragging around from your past, and toxins that get stored in your fat as well. So yes, and it'll be fun. It'll be 6 weeks of fun.
And the best thing is you're part of like a pod of 10, and that pod you can keep forever. Like you'll make friends for life, and you're there helping each other to continue to process, to continue to stay on track for however long that you want to. It could be for life. And so many of our friends really so many of our clients have become great friends. They've traveled overseas to go and see each other and connect with each other, even in these crazy times, because they've found solace and deeper connections with these people than they have with their own family members or other friends, because we go into the messiness of life. We share and we talk about things that people don't talk about, and we make it okay. We make it like
light,
fun and insignificant, and the authentic truth of who you are. And so that's why so many people form such solid, extraordinary relationships and friends for life through our work.
Yes. So before we wrap up, you also get a live cooking class, which we talked about. So you'll learn how to cook in some creative ways. Live, depending on my shooting schedule, depending on where we're at in the thing. But I may have to shoot a video of it, but there's a 90% chance it will be live. But then he'll be live while there'll be a live viewing, and he'll be live answering questions while they're doing it. If you do it that way. If I don't have my kitchen, it'd be hard to do it in a hotel room. In a hotel room, yeah. Thriving community and powerful accountability group. So we went over that. You will have an accountability group inside of your pod
and an accountability buddy. So
you're gonna have a buddy, eh? And you can learn more at freedom-alchemist.com. And how do you spell alchemist? Alchemist.
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 Yeah.
Like Al.
and then AL, and then chemist.
There you go. That's easy.
Yeah.
Freedom dash
Alchemist.com. And then I think Ruth is posting, if you want to go just straight to where the advanced program is to check that out. You can check that out there, and it's got everything on there. There's a payment plan, as well as a pay in full. Yes, Stephanie, I got your questions. Yeah.
There it is. Yes.
So if what you're after is really
welcome,
help
Pamela.
with some of your more personal issues and private coaching is out of your reach, this is a way to do it. Because I know for me, when I private coach, it's a 3-month program. It is a financial investment, because I like to take people through from a start point to a finish point. This is a way of getting that at a much cheaper rate, and you get 2 for 1.
2 for
1. And this is what I love about when I'm coaching people, because someone will be like, I'm like, what's your 5-year goal? And they'll be like, I want to be healthy and feel fine. And I'm like, what? No, 5 years? You want to be fabulous and fantastic. Like, there's no fine in any of it. So many people are so scared to dream. They're so scared to really say what they want. This is going to help you. We're going to help you really define what you want and how to like really uplift that, instead of just being like, yeah, you decide, maybe I can have this. It's like, no, what do you want? What do you want from the core of your soul, but you're scared to admit it because you've had some rough times and you just don't think it's possible. We're going to break through all those barriers and have you really stand in so much possibility, so much excitement, and really have you pulled forward. Because if your why isn't strong, if you're not excited about where you're going, you're not going to do it.
No.
You're not going to show up. It's just going to be like, me.
Yeah.
And this is not one of those programs, because it's such a small group, you cannot hide with us. You're going to have to be all in all the way.
We're not going to let you stay small.
There's no one. And everyone has to share. Everyone gets coached. The whole thing. Like everything.
And you have to commit too.
Yeah.
You have to be there for yourself and for others. You will be transformed.
And if for any reason you're like, I have to do this, but I need to figure out, some logistics or money or whatever.
Can they book a call?
Yeah, you can book a call. There's on our program, right down the bottom of the advanced program, you can book in. There's time slots, 30-minute time slots that you can book in. Now, this isn't for you to have a conversation, a little chat because you want to connect with us. It's because you're really committed that you want to do this, but you're not sure how to do it or how to go about it.
Yes.
And we can help strategize with you and figure out a way. So that's what it's for.
And the call will be with Kate.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're trying to have a little moment with Paul, it's not going to be, it's not going to be that, but it's going to be with me. And it's about, really creating what's possible to have it be. And it's easy to say, oh, I don't have the money, but if you suddenly had to go to the hospital and you got a bill for $20,000 because you didn't take care of yourself, you would just have to find that money and figure it out. Yeah. And so this is like a preventative of how to learn for life. You can give a man a fish, but if you teach him how to fish, he can feed himself for life.
What about a woman?
Or a woman.
You give a woman a fish?
Yeah, she can also fish for life. This is what we want. We want to give you guys the tools to heal your body, to heal your mind, to step into what's possible for your life, no matter what age you are. We have, someone that's almost 76 in our program.
Yes.
And she's like a superstar that's always going for it.
She's released 75 pounds.
Yeah. And just gone all the way. So there's no age limit. There's no anything. All you need to be is committed and ready to go for it. There's something when you choose to invest in yourself powerfully, you show up differently.
Yeah. There's
one thing to be spending, $39 a month and showing up in your group. It is another thing if you powerfully invest in yourself because you're really committed to getting what you want to get.
Yeah.
And we're going to be really committed that your why is strong and that you're on track in a really powerful way that has you light up a whole new lease on life.
Yeah.
If you talk to any of my privates, they'll be like, it's invaluable, like what you get. So we're really sure that you're gonna get what you come for, what you came for. And that's why, yeah.
Yes, if you want to reach out to Kate, it's at freedom-alchemist.com, and at the bottom, that's where the calendar is.
Down the bottom, you put in your name and your email,
Okay.
and then there'll be a calendar
Great.
that you can book
Yeah.
in a schedule. And also, if you forget the Freedom-Alchemist, if you go to paulgreen.com, is it paulgreen.com?
It sure is.
paulgreen.com, there is a link. There'll be a pop-on on there and a link to get to this
Or it's
as
also
well.
the freedom link, which that's
Ooh,
which
the Freedom link.
there's a
Get
link.
me onto the Freedom link. I want it.
Awesome. Or just click the link that Ruth put there if you
Yeah.
can. I know it's kind of tricky inside of here.
If you cannot join us or it's not for you right now, really go into your why. Like why you want something, why you want to create something, because if that's not super juicy and lighting you up, you're not going to go forward. If you're not super excited about being svelte and gorgeous and feeling like having clothes that float off you and feel really good, you're going to just eat the donut, right? You're just going to eat whatever's there and not be mindful about what you're eating, because that is a
That's
quicker
right.
fix
That's
in the
right.
moment
That's right.
than that really like, no, I know. You know, it's like when people suddenly lose weight for their wedding, or some big event, it's like their why becomes really strong. It's like, I gotta fit into this dress before this wedding, right?
I'll have those pictures forever.
Yeah, right? So it's like you need a why like that. You need something pulling you forward. Now, unfortunately, with something like that, then after the date, they stuff themselves and it goes back to normal.
Probably on the day.
So, probably. So we want to teach you how to shift it forever.
Bye for now.
Big kiss.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Lots of love. Bye.